Welcome back to Capitol Review. I'm Mark Hall. Dozens of people have been killed in several U.S. military strikes on alleged drug boats in the Caribbean Sea and also in the Pacific Ocean since September. President Trump said that he is targeting drug cartels and narco-terrorists who threaten American lives. Joining us now is News Nation correspondent Hannah Brandt. Hannah, welcome to Capitol Review.
Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. Some Republicans have criticized the president, including Senator Rand Paul. Lindsey Graham of South Carolina defended the boat strike, saying that the president has all the authority in the world to order military strikes on drug boats. This has certainly been a controversial topic. What are people saying?
Absolutely. It's been very divisive up on Capitol Hill. And this week, one of the divisive things is that some administration officials came to give briefings, first to senators earlier in the week, but no Democrats were included in that briefing, we're told. And Democrats were really frustrated by that. They accused the White House of playing politics here by not giving Democrats the answers that they're looking for. Then there was another briefing that was given to some House members. Democrats were included in that one, but the Democrats who came out of it said they still didn't feel like they got satisfactory answers from the administration about why these strikes are happening, what the long-term strategy is here. And the big question we're hearing from Capitol Hill is, where is the legal justification? Because the administration has not gotten approval from Congress to do these strikes. It argues that it is within its legal authority to go after these people because it accuses them of being terrorists. But a lot of lawmakers say, we just haven't seen evidence that that's the case. So that's the big question at play here on Capitol Hill.
Hannah, some critics have said if these strikes, whether they're legal or not, are actually in the wrong region and they're not really taking place in areas that pose a bigger threat to the U.S.
Sure. And one of the kind of points of that we've heard Democratic lawmakers making is they say that during their briefing, they were told by administration officials that most of these strikes have taken out drug boats with cocaine on it rather than fentanyl, which is what the administration has really said it wants to go after. And there are several lawmakers who say, well, most of the fentanyl comes from by the Trump administration, because again, the underlying argument here is they have not shown evidence that all of these boats are even drug boats. And in fact, the leader of Colombia said one of the boats they hit was a fishing boat. Now, the Trump administration says that's not the case, that the Colombian leader is lying about that. But there's certainly disagreement about what exactly these boats are doing.
Hannah, you mentioned earlier the Democrats say that they've been left out of the strike briefings. Do they have a legitimate argument, considering the climate?
I mean, the Trump administration says, look, this is not the case. The Trump administration told us they've actually given 9 different briefings. They say some to Democrats, some to Republicans, some to bipartisan groups. Democrats say they aren't being briefed regularly. And in fact, the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, that's Senator Mark Warner, says that he really feels like this is a dangerous threat to national security. And he feels that he's being left out. And he says, look, I would typically be one of the stakeholders that would be in the room for this, and I'm not. And the other interesting thing is we're going to see the Senate potentially take action on this, take a vote on a war powers resolution, which would essentially prohibit the administration from taking any military action against Venezuela without congressional approval. We don't know that this will pass. It may not get the Republican votes it needs to pass. And even if it did, it would kind of be a messaging bill more than anything else, because, of course, it probably wouldn't get through the Republican majority House, and it definitely wouldn't get a signature from President Trump.
News Nation's Hannah Brandt, thank you so very much for joining us.